And welcome back, everybody, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast, and this is episode 51.
Yeah, man. Let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this. I'm on the air, we got this podcast flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAQ.
Welcome, everybody, to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Bowes, and sitting across from me, COVID style, is Matty G.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Oh, Jesus, keep it to yourself. This is exactly why we can't record in the same room anymore.
I had to do it on one of the episodes. You knew it was coming.
Yeah, exactly. You're sick, but you're just not that kind of sick.
More twisted.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you doing, Tony?
Doing wonderful, living life to its fullest as much as you can, Ella quarantine, and things are kind of opening up here, which is really, really nice. You know, they're thinking about going into stage 3, and hopefully just in the positive way, and not, as most people say, stage 3.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate enough to have a legend in the business joining us today. He was the front man for the B52's. We have Fred Schneider. Fred, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. Why don't I do a parody that everyone does with my voice, which is really awful, introduce the show.
That would be awesome.
Hi, this is Fred Schneider of the B52's, and you're listening to the Freaking Awesome Podcast.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
That's hatred.
That's super fun. Matty G, how about before we get started into the show, we get going with the news?
Absolutely. Let's kick it off.
All right.
My first article reads, "Get your ass covered. Karen scolds woman wearing bikini at the beach."
Oh, boy.
So I'm sure you've heard of like this whole internet craze right now where basically anybody bitching about anything is called a Karen.
Yes.
That's what they've dubbed it. Yeah.
That's the new. Yeah.
Well, finally a story about Karen that doesn't involve masks, because usually it's about masks.
Yep.
And so
or cats.
A woman in upstate. Oh, yeah, exactly. A woman in upstate New York demanding a fellow beachgoer cover up even though she wasn't naked. TikTok user Aria was making a video for the social media website while wearing a bikini that didn't cover much of her rear end, and then another woman actually came up and interrupted her. The woman said that her boys were staring at her ass, which is hanging out in a public place. She then offered the bikini wearer a pair of shorts to put on, as she had an extra pair. And then she goes on to quote, "I mean, get your ass covered," the woman says. And the woman told her that she couldn't be nude at the beach, which the girl clearly wasn't. Like she was in a scant bikini almost for the photo shoot, right?
Yep.
So anyways, so the woman actually went and raised a complaint with the park workers, who said that there's actually no rule that they can ban any type of swimsuit. And the park workers were men. So
that's great. Okay. So first of all, this is clearly a problem with your children, not this woman who's clearly just trying to film a video. Secondly, that takes a lot of gall, right? To walk up and demand that someone else at a beach cover themselves up. Like I've been at a beach for the last, almost a week now. My family and I go to the beach on a regular basis at the end of the day. And, people are wearing what they're wearing. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe it was like a jealousy thing that, this woman was, I don't know, PO'd.
Showing off her stuff.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely a case of a Karen.
A case of the Karen, yeah.
Just
for
hating.
The sake of bitching.
Yep, just hating. That's crazy.
What do you got, Tony?
Okay, my title is Cheeky Corpse. Georgia detectives discover a body. In Allenhurst, Georgia, it seems a major crime for Allenhurst, in a town of less than 700 people in southeast Georgia. A female body was spotted by a railroad tracks. Liberty County deputies gathered on the scene and waited for the coroners. It took a while before they realized the joke was on them. The corpse wasn't actually a body, but a sex doll. The detective Mike Albritton said the officers found the female humanoid Tuesday afternoon. The TV reported that under the department policy, deputies can't touch a dead body until the coroner arrives on the scene. Once the coroner arrived, they, of course, came close to check the body for a pulse and realized that it was actually just a fully dressed sex doll.
Awesome.
So, well, I mean, here is maybe the real crime is that someone's throwing away a sex doll. I mean, these things are apparently pretty expensive.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
You can't throw away a sex doll during COVID times.
No, exactly. Besides, nobody would really want to pick up a used sex doll anyways, right?
Yeah, I mean, A, keep it because it's a lonely time, and B, no one's going to take that chance.
That's right. Maybe it opened up into stage 2 down there, and they were just like, well, I don't need you anymore.
I'm going to the beach.
Yep. That's where all the action's at. All right. What else you got, Matt?
Alrighty. Next one. This one's pretty good. I think you'll like this one. So, shock and ale. Electric fence keeps drinkers back from the bar in English pub.
Go on.
Yes. So, a man walks into a bar and into an electric fence. No, it's not a joke, but rather the novel measure taken by one Cornish pub to enforce distancing rules to stop the spread of COVID-19. The landlord of Star Inn in the village of St. Just, southwest England, has installed an electric fence in front of the bar to make sure that social distancing guidelines are followed. Quote, if I had put a little bit more rope there, I don't think anybody would have taken this much attention as they had to an electric fence, right? So the article kind of talks about how they were trying different things and they ended up on electric fence because other things weren't working as well. Well, so pubs in England were. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we've both mentioned on a previous episode how we've all had a little bit of experience with the electric fence. Yours with the proverbial whiz on the electric fence, and mine just grabbing hold of it. So I could definitely say that would keep me back 6 feet from the bar. Yeah.
Well, pubs in England were allowed to reopen on July 4th.
Yep.
But they must implement social distancing measures. It's a mandate.
Yeah.
And that includes minimizing staff contact with customers and reducing time that pub goers spend at the bar, which I think would be a challenge for most, of your regular folks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So McFadden said the rules represented a big cultural change for his pub. I run a small bar. Everybody's accustomed to sitting at the bar and pushing at the bar. They can't do that now as things have changed. Although the fence is not turned on, McFadden said that the same logic which works in the nearby farms of rural Cornwall works for the local drinkers too. So
that
anyways,
don't
I thought
even have
that
that
was pretty cute.
Yeah. Fred, have you ever had any experience with electric fences at all?
No, I just barely escaped the electric chair.
A little bit more extreme than that orange line. So
they get the sponge on your head, and then you just left.
I left the state.
That's the best way to get out.
Yep.
Right at the last moment, it's like, okay, I've used up my welcome here. Time to hit the dusty road.
What are the laws over here again?
Yeah. Well, it's really funny about the electric fence, because they're kind of using that. I can't remember which psychologist had used that theory of just putting it there alone was enough to keep people back from it, because clearly they said they didn't turn it on, and there's a part of me that still has that curiosity that if you walk up and you saw the line and you're thinking, okay, this is a public place. People could bump into this. Could this actually happen? I think I would touch the line just to see if it was actually live. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
That's called call of the void.
Yeah. That's survival of the fittest. This is why I probably would have died off really early in evolution.
No, dude, that's actually a real thing. It's a real scientific thing. It's called call of the void, and it's like where humans get this inkling to do something that's not typical, or put yourself in danger. It's like, you ever been driving and you've had the thought like, fuck, I could just pull into the other lane and fucking flip this bitch. That's called call to the void. That's a real thing that happens. Like people have those thoughts. Anyways.
Only when my kids won't stop arguing in the back seat.
Yeah. I know it's kind of a dark thing to talk about, but it's a very real thing. It's I guess it's just part of human nature.
Great. Now we're gonna have child services pulling up in my house. So you went on the record by saying, "No, I didn't. I was Matt. You can never tell who's talking."
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give you Matt's address. Okay, my last article. Fantasy. My goodness. Okay, so this is a bit of an odd one, and hopefully we can go through it pretty quick. I'm going to try to paraphrase a lot of this because it was a really big article. But a pair of hired men show up for a man's broom sexual fantasy, but they turn up at the wrong address in the wrong bedroom.
Oh my God, go on.
Yes. So, basically, two men snuck into the bedroom of a house of a man who had hired them to carry out a very strange sexual fantasy, to be tied up in his underwear and stroked with a broom, but only to discover they'd gotten the wrong address. So, two men from Sydney, Australia, made their apologies as they left a startled victim's house as they showed up at their bedside and kind of woke them up out of a sleep. A man went on to Facebook and hired two men to basically pay them $5,000 to show up at their house, at this guy's house, tie him up, and tickle him with a broom. Except for the two men had gotten the wrong address, snuck in through the window of the house, and then worked their way up to his bedroom, and then said, are you Kevin? And the person, of course, woke up with a start and was like, "What? Who are you? What are you doing here?" They're like, "Are you Kevin?" And they said, "No, I'm not." Of course, they continued to like berate this person, like, "But we're here to grab Kevin." And eventually they had to admit that, okay, I think we're in the wrong house. Shook their hand.
Man, I would have been like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'm Kevin."
Right?
I want to see where this goes.
Right. So they left the house immediately and then got a call from the actual Kevin to then go off to his house to go through this process. Meanwhile, the first person instantly called the cops as soon as they had left the house. Now, somehow, I don't know how they tracked this down because the article doesn't state, but they actually found the guys at the other house and basically arrested them, and they were technically charged for breaking and entering on the other person and threatening them, or what they felt threatened. But like, honestly, all I could think of is like two men showing up with a broom in your house is probably the worst possible way to wake up in the middle of the night. Because personally, I mean, I'm one of those people who, when I go to sleep at night, I guess I don't sleep super heavy because I'm on high alert, right? I'm always kind of worried about like my family and their safety because I got a house full of girls. And like if I even heard a creak from downstairs, I'd come flying down the stairs with like a bat, a pipe or something. I mean, I think I've scared the crap out of the dog a couple times. But I wouldn't even know where to go with this. I knew like you, other than saying, yes, I'm Kevin.
I know what I do.
Oh, worst way possible to wake up in the middle of the
night. My name is Kevin and I'm home alone.
Yep. Again, if everybody wants the address to Matt's house.
Now sex me and clean my kitchen.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I do. I'd wake up in the middle of the night going, "Are you here to clean the house?"
Oh, man. Oh, that's awesome.
Fred, let's turn things over to you.
Yes.
Excellent. So, I should say, do you have a cleaner that comes to your house?
No, and I'm the world's worst cleaner, so.
Apparently, you can get men to show up at your house with a broom for $5,000. Just saying.
Well, I would have them tickle me with that thing that they stuff vases and fragile things with that's on the end of like a long stick.
Ah, yes.
Like those little
yes.
feather duster things.
Yeah, the old
Yeah,
feather
feather
duster.
duster. I think that'd be better than a broom.